So, as we all know, NEP is a vast subject. And during a survey and conversation with educators, the most common question raised was, why NEP? And what is the importance of NEP? And what are those first few steps to embark on this journey and embrace NEP into our schools? So here we are. I'd like to invite Dr. Malini.M.Dutta to share the importance of NEP, how it is going to shape and enable our education system.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you so much, Miss Lucy. NEP is a topic. Now, this is a topic on which we can speak together endlessly, 48 hours, 72 hours, we can go ahead with that. But before we talk and understand all these things, we just need to turn and look around that what is NEP and why this NEP is being talked so much. Now, as per the latest central government record, anybody can guess the number of schools that are present in India, including both the public and the private? It's a huge number. It's 14 crore, 9,04,052 schools in India. And one more amazing fact is, we are having schools 3 times more than the schools in China. But the fact is, when we look into our records, we have a very poor record of students going for the higher studies. And this is below 20%. So that is what the lightning struck, and we need to understand that how this age-old education policy needs to be revamped. And so the requirement of a robust and enhanced educational system was the dire necessity. And we all know the digital world has made it possible. Newspapers, discussions now due to this pandemic, we all are inside the home. So every time while breakfast till dinner, we keep on discussing on the things that is happening. And we all are aware that the world is undergoing rapid changes, whether it is knowledge or it is experience or it is performance. So this rapid changes in the knowledge landscape is massive. So this various dramatic scientific and technological advances. Now you will see children making inventions, discoveries, and you all must be knowing about Anirudh, who made a flying ambulance to help the COVID patients, and he is awarded by Google. So this advances such as the rise of big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, many unskilled jobs worldwide is taken over by machines. So the need of a skilled workforce, particularly involving mathematics, computer science, and data science, and not only with that, alone completely they cannot. So in conjunction with multidisciplinary abilities across sciences, social sciences, and humanities is in a greater demand. And hence, comes the role of NEP. So the National Education Policy 2020 got approved in July 29 in the Union Cabinet meeting chaired by our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. And the new policy replaced the 34-year-old policy, which was implemented during the reign of Rajiv Gandhi, the late Prime Minister of India in 1986. And this aims to pave the way for transformational reforms in school and higher education systems in the country. Now, this National Education Policy 2020, if you look around the 21st century, you will always see that this is the first education policy of the 21st century, and that aims to address the many growing developmental imperatives of our country. And after so many years of our independence, we think that this imperative should be removed. And this policy proposes the revision and revamping. These are two words which are creating ripples around revision and revamping. And when I'm talking about these two words as revision and revamping, actually we are doing that. According to this NEP, it is actually completely revising and revamping all aspects of the education structure, including its regulation, its governance, its implementation, to create that new system that is aligned with the aspirational goals of the 21st century education, including, if you all remember, the Sustainable Development Goals 4. So which while building upon India's own traditions and value systems. And here, when the point comes, I would like to get that connection between Fundoodaa and this NEP. When I'm telling out this statement that India's based on India's traditions and value systems. So I will indicate that while I'm talking. Now, this education system, it has replaced the 34-year-old education policy on education. So this revival after a gap of 34 years is much needed. Why I'm repeating 34 years again and again, so that we can understand that how many years we are following the same thing, where in our surrounding we are seeing vast changes. Look around your own self, you will see that there are massive changes. So why not changes in our educational system, educational policy? So that is what NEP has brought. And with the time and advancement, there has to be a transformation in all sectors, and it is happening. So why education will not be there? So education is there now. So creating a fresh, diversified, inclusive, and advanced educational vision was therefore necessary and urgent. Again, the 34 years comes here. It's urgent. The new policy aims for universalization of education from preschool to secondary level with 100% GER, that is gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. We are not far away. It's we are approaching it. And the way it is getting implemented, the way it is getting revamped, and 2030 is not an impossible task when we are looking for this 100% gross enrollment ratio. And and this national policy is also aiming to raise the GER in higher education to 50% by just another 4 years, that is 2025. So indeed, with this, with the quickly changing employment prospect, and I will not say Indian or Asian, I will say global ecosystem, it is becoming increasingly critical that children not only learn, but what is more important is how to learn. To learn, how to learn. So education thus must move towards less content, more towards learning about how to think critically and solve problems, how to be creative and multidisciplinary, and how to innovate and adaptive and absorbing in the same time new material in novel and changing fields. So what we are implementing, what this national education policy is implementing is the pedagogy. The evolvement of this pedagogy. So this pedagogy must evolve to make education more experimental. Please focus on the words, because these are the words, these are the basic or the fundamentals on which the entire policy of NEP is meant, is drawn on. So these are experimental, holistic. We can talk about integratedness, inquiry driven, discovery oriented, and learner centered. So these three are the most important: inquiry driven, discovery oriented, and learner centered. Apart from there are three more things, that is discussion based. So now you will see that all the question papers, competency levels, everything is getting changed. So that need to be adopted from 2021 itself, and that has been done. All the CBSE schools are doing it, working on towards that direction. Flexibility and of course enjoyable. See, this enjoyable factor we need to bring in. So these are certain aspects, philosophy, or these are the parameters on which the entire NEP policy is resting. And this education policy lays particular emphasis on the development of the creative potential of each individual. Now, when we look to our own hands, own palm, then we have the fingers of all varieties, of all height, size, and capabilities. So it is in that way. No, if you enter into a classroom also, you will not find any two children of the same caliber. They all are different, they all are special, and they all are having their own creative potential. So this NEP, National Education Policy, is putting all its stress. We will be seeing in our future sessions that how NEP is enabling all these aspects among the students. And it is based on the principle that education must develop not only cognitive capacities, but both the foundational and fundamental capacities as well of literacy and numeracy, and higher order capacities, cognitive capacities, critical thinking, problem solving, social, ethical, emotional capacities, and dispositions. So automatically, if we are taking care of these aspects, definitely the crime content, the antisocial elements, and the negativity of the society will automatically come down. So the very basis of national education policy is also looking at this factor, that how they are going to work on this, eliminating the social barriers as well. So the principles of this policy is to recreate an education system to develop good human beings capable of rational thought and action. If rationalism is there, then definitely will the student who are the next generation of our country will definitely think twice before they diversify from the right path. Possessing compassion and empathy. These are two must compulsory words that the student should have, and NEP is trying to do that. Possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper, and creative imagination. With sound ethical moorings and values. Without ethical moorings and values, every system will be a very short-lived. So it is made very, very much possible, and it is made very concrete that the national education policy will have both the ethical values and adoption of it. And it aims at producing engaged, not only engaged, productive and contributing citizens for building an equitable, inclusive, and plural society as envisaged by our constitution. And this will definitely be a landmark within the history of education, not only in India, but among the Asian nations. The policy is completely holistic, comprehensive, and show hawk-eyed, definitely playing a significant role within the nation's future growth and development. And it is a revolutionary policy and a document that, if it is implemented to the fullest, definitely we are going to see the changes by 2035, not long. So yes, thank you so much, Lucy, for asking this question, because this question brings a very important aspect, that why NEP and why we are today having this drive of implementing it to all the schools everywhere throughout India. Thank you.